Welcome back, everyone. BG's only live sports talk show is back, The Swoop. I am your host, Autumn Stevens. We are here with Zach Carrion, Ryan Schrodbeck.
Oh, wait, sorry. Are we live right now?
I think so.
Okay, I'll call you back.
Possibly.
Bye.
And Chase Bachman. Welcome back, everyone. We are super excited for our show this week. First, I want to start off with the Cavs win over the Celtics last night, 121-99. How do you think LeBron is feeling about these trades?
Well, if I'm LeBron James, I couldn't be feeling better right now. I got a young cast behind me. I'm playing better than ever. I'm an MVP candidate. And I got rid of the poison that was Isaiah Thomas in my locker room.
Wow.
That was strong.
Isaiah Thomas, who knew going in? Everybody thought the Cavs won that trade in the beginning of the season where Kyrie got shipped to Boston. But here we are. Cavs might have got swindled by Boston, but they got better on Thursday when they traded IT away, when they traded Jay Crowder away. This team got infinitely better, and they are now back on top to be the East favorites. Celtics, I don't know. They got Kyrie, but Gordon Hayward's still out. You don't know. I don't know. I think the Cavs are back to being favorites.
Ryan, I couldn't agree more. I think the guy who doesn't get enough praise is Kobe Altman, the GM of the Cavs. I think that the trades he made and the adjustments he made at the deadline were really super important in causing a shift in momentum and a shift in chemistry. You saw in the beginning of the year, teammates weren't getting along. Isaiah Thomas, like you said, Zach, they were kind of a poison to the locker room, and I think that they made the necessary adjustments, and this is the same story we see every single year. The Cavs make the adjustment at the deadline, and then they turn it around, they start getting wins.
Yeah.
And I think they absolutely got swindled by Boston because Kyrie Irving, I think, is one of the best point guards in the league. I think that's not even an argument. He just is. And we traded him for basically a point guard that has the body of a child. And is a huge liability on defense. And we only had him for 15 games, and he was not impressive at all. So I think the trade they made at the deadline was necessary. I think George Hill is a superior point guard overall, even though he is older and maybe not as big a star as he was. And then I love that we have Larry Nance Jr. I think Larry Nance Jr. was going to be a big part of that Lakers team, as they were a very young team, and I think they were going to grow into a potential championship team with the talent they had. And I think adding Larry Nance Jr. in the front court is going to make all the difference in the playoffs.
Yeah, the new Cavs looked great yesterday against the Celtics. They had 49 points, went 8 of 15 from three-point arc. They contributed right away. I mean, no one thought going into that game that they were going to play that well, and here they come right out of the gate. Flowed so well. The game everybody looked like they were having fun. They had a passion for the game. That's something that lacked from the Cavs team that when they were struggling. They just didn't seem like they were having fun. They were loving the game. And since that trade deadline, the Cavs just have found themselves, have found what they love to do, and it's just better basketball to watch. And I'm excited about these new Cavs, and I'm excited to watch how this team grows even better throughout the rest of the season.
Ryan, I think one of the things that make trades so hard to judge is that they're all results-based. It all depends on, how do they perform in the postseason, do they win ultimately? I think a lot of this is results-based, how much are they going to win beyond this trade deadline? How much are they going to win in the postseason? Will they win a championship? That's something that LeBron's going to consider into the offseason. Are these the right kind of moves that we made? Is it something that puts this Cavs team in the right direction moving forward long term? But I think LeBron's got to be really happy with where they are right now, considering that they went into Boston. Rodney Hood, Larry Nance Jr., George Hill, all those guys hadn't played for the Cavs for even a minute before, and they go in, they start contributing to the team, and they start, winning games.
Yeah, and I think the young talent on this team is going to be what's going to force LeBron to stay in Cleveland.
Really?
Because there wasn't a reason for him to stay. There was no future here. We had a bunch of old All-Stars. I mean, yeah, we had Dwayne Wade, we had Derrick Rose, we had all these big names, but they didn't have much of a future in this league. And hey, maybe we could use them for like 1 year or the year after that, but now we actually have a future. We got young guys that can be stars on this team years down the road, and we can contend for more championships 5 years from now, 6 years from now. And hey, LeBron could still be around 5 years or 6 years from now. So I think this is huge, and we still have that draft pick from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And hey, everybody was talking about trading that away. I don't think we trade it away anymore. I think we use it. It's probably going to be a top 5 pick.
Well, we can't. The trade deadline's passed away. I mean, you can trade it.
Use it as
draft.
in drafting a player with that pick. It's probably going to be a top 5 pick. I think we use it. We draft another guard or another power forward, even a center. I don't know if there's Marvin Bagley. I know he's going to be one of the top picks, but he might go before we get a chance to take him. But maybe a Trae Young might still be around, a Colin Sexton. So I think we need to hold on to that Brooklyn pick and use it and build for the future.
So just as a reminder to our viewers that are watching, before we go into this tweet, you can tweet us at #SwoopIn on Twitter, and we will be able to answer any questions that you guys have throughout our discussion tonight. Going into that, we actually have a tweet about the Cavs. Garrett McKinney tweeted us and said, "What grade do you give the Cavs front office for these trades?"
I think it's an A.
I was expecting you guys to say A, but I just want to see, because I know you said something earlier about them not having an A overall. So
I don't think it's an A just exactly. I mean, yes, they got rid of talent and they got rid of that poison, but you have to take everything with a grain of salt. I think right now you give it a B. They were good trades. They got rid of, they did some addition by subtraction in a sense, but it's still too early to tell how well these players are going to form. They had one great game. Can they sustain it? You can't look at just one game and say, hey, these Cavs are going to just plow through everybody else through the rest of the season. I mean, yes, I love the trades they made, but I can't give them an A until I see the results that have happened.
What could they have done to get an A?
They could have gotten someone a little bigger with that Brooklyn pick. We could have traded that Brooklyn pick. If they would have traded and got someone bigger, like an Anthony Davis, which I knew that's probably a long shot, they still could have traded that Brooklyn pick or got Kemba Walker. That probably would have helped them out a ton too. So personally, they could have done a little better, but they couldn't have done much better.
I don't know. I think they got the most.
I think they
did the best they possibly could have done with what they had, and I think that deserves an A.
They could have got
just based on one game. I mean, it's hard to judge, but based on what we've seen, we can only go by what we've seen. It's an A pick. It's an A trade.
I mean, I'm going to wait until I see more in the season.
Chase, what do you have to say?
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I agree for the most part with Zach and Ryan. I would just give it an A- just because I'm such a hard grader. The only situation in which I would give them an A+ is if they got a knock it out of the park trade, maybe a Paul George or a Carmelo Anthony. Although I don't know what either of them would do, especially Carmelo Anthony. But the point is, I think Kobe Altman and LeBron, because both GM essentially, I think that they did a really good job with what they had and the time that they were given. And I think down the road, we look at how many wins that they rack up at the end of the year. They get maybe the 2 seed in the East, maybe even the 1 seed. If everything falls into place. And I think that they ultimately win the East to get back to the finals. So I think they did a really good job. I give them an A-.
Okay. So another trade that I want to talk about, Blake Griffin to the Pistons. What do you guys think? So far, he has dominated every game he's played. But what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, great for the Pistons. They're not going to contend for the East. It's not really going to make a difference in the long run. They're not going to win a championship with Blake Griffin. He's not that kind of player. He can't lead a team on his own like that. They're going to have to make a few more moves, a few more big moves if they want to be a real force in the East.
Here's the thing. We've seen this play out in New Orleans where the team has tried to go big with Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins. That was a complete failure. The Pistons, they definitely got better, and their team is much better for adding Blake Griffin for what they traded away. But I still, like Zach said, I can't see them contending throughout this season or throughout the postseason. They have so many more other holes that they need to fill, and Blake Griffin is just a star talent that is going to help the Pistons short term, but long term it's still going to help them out. They do have him under contract for a while because he did sign that contract in the offseason. So that was a huge gift for the Pistons money-wise and commitment-wise. But other than that, I mean, it's going to be tough playing just big man basketball, I think, in this league.
Guys, I don't think it's a success depending on how you look at it. Maybe it is. I think that it's not a success if you're looking at it in terms of wins. Blake Griffin's a star, but he's not going to win you games. He brings in ticket sales. He helps sell merchandise. He increases popularity and interest in the team, but he's not going to win you games. So it's a success for the Detroit Pistons if what they're looking to do is sell merchandise, sell tickets in a new arena that's failing to secure season ticket holders. I think that it's a success in that respect, but if you're looking to win games, Blake Griffin is not the long-term answer, and he's not the whole piece of the pie. He's not the LeBron James guy that comes in and changes the culture and wins you a bunch of games. No, you have to get a few more stars, maybe 2 more stars in the East.
Yeah,
So-
I think you're exactly right. He is a star. He is not a mega star. He's not going to completely change a franchise. He's not going to take them from barely making it to the playoffs to contending for a title. He's just not that type of player. So they're going to have to do a lot of building in the future, and LeBron's going to have to retire, which may not happen anytime soon.
I don't see it happening for a few more years. But something that is super important to all of us here in the Bowling Green area, Kraft Hockeyville has offered a nomination to the Slater Family Ice Arena that gives them the opportunity to win $150,000 for renovations, and also a preseason NHL game could be played at the arena. So we want to send you over to crafthockeyville.com and use the Bowling Green zip code, which is 43403, as opposed to 43402, which is a city. So this is the campus zip code that you'll want to use. Tweet their pictures, your stories, tell your story on there about the arena, and we could be entered to win, which I think is a huge opportunity for this area. So head on over that way after the show. So another thing in hockey this week, I was supposed to be at this game. I was not. The Toledo Walleye fight took place this weekend between goalies and another team. So let's take a look at that action. So we'll see here. Started off on the sidelines, ended up with most of the goalies, but
Oh, this is afterwards. This is yeah.
But this is compliments of Jordan Shark off of Twitter. So he starts a little
Oh,
bit
here we
with
go.
the ref.
Okay. Little contact. Okay, definitely can't do that.
Yeah, no.
That's that. You know,
that is not a hockey play,
That
as
is
we like to
Gary
say.
Klotz,
I think that-
AJ Jinx basically, so it becomes an all-out brawl.
It's getting a little
The
messy
best
in there.
part, Zach's favorite part actually is coming
Oh,
up
here we
in a
go.
second.
Look, when the goalies get into it, that's when you know it's a real fight.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, there we go. Yay.
So the Kansas City goalie comes
There we
in,
go. Okay.
and here comes the Walleye goalie.
Okay. Here we go.
And there he goes.
This is what we came to see. This is my favorite part right here. There we go.
I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter, the people responding to this, but there was a player who was on Toledo, I believe, last year, talking about how there's no place in this for the game. And the fact that Kansas City was basically just putting people out there to fight, which that doesn't have a place in hockey, because if you do this in real life, that's going to get you arrested. That is going to get you some jail time, because technically that is assault.
I mean,
They just went out there to go fight. I mean, that's not
Basically.
hockey. I mean, I get it if you get mad at a player, but what you saw from one of, I think it was Klotz, is Klotz?
Yeah,
Klotz is the guy who
from Kansas
instigated
City.
it. That was not hockey. He has not played that well this season. He was out there only for one reason and one reason only. There was no room for that. That reminds me of a Hollywood movie called Goon, in which they just throw out a player just for the ability for him to fight. For me, that's not how hockey should be played, and that's not how the game is meant to be played. And I don't know.
well, as someone,
As fans, it looks good, but
as somebody who likes fighting in hockey, that might have gone way, way, way over the line.
Yes.
Because that was not just a regular fight. He was on the ground hitting him with a stick.
Yeah.
Completely illegal. Completely, definitely has no place in hockey. But hey, it was entertaining to watch.
I found this interesting. Kevin Tansey on Twitter said he had played for Kansas City in the previous year, and he had worked with the coach. I can bring up the actual tweet here. I have played under him, and I'm glad I don't anymore. To say you're disappointed in me is insulting. Kansas City Mavs players told us that they sent players out. His own players told us. Doesn't get more black and white than that. So basically, we understand that players were sent out from the coach to add to the fight. So yes, hockey is a part of the culture, or fighting is a part of the hockey culture, but this was taken a little too far. So, Chase, I know you have something. I'm sure you have something to say.
I don't know what to say. I mean, get out there with it. I mean, I'm sure they went out there with good intentions. They went out there in the beginning of the game, that is, to go out and win a hockey game, and you get your hat handed to you. I think the score at that point was 4-0 in favor of the Walleye. You go out there, you get frustrated, and you just let emotions get the best of you. And I can't say that I'm above that sort of behavior if you're in the heat of the game and the heat of the moment. I can't say that I'm I wouldn't do the same thing, but man, it's just really uncalled for. Just once he gets on the ground, he starts taking a stick and just letting him have it. I mean, and I think that there's really no place for that behavior, even though there's a culture of aggression and violence in hockey. I just think that players are above that sort of behavior.
And I think fighting in hockey, it's all about respect. And that move right there, and you'll see it right here, completely disrespectful. That is completely over the line.
So what would you say should happen to Garrett Klotz? I personally think that he should be suspended or even removed.
I believe he was.
I think he's suspended for 20 games, if I'm not mistaken.
But I mean, past that.
I don't think he should be allowed back in the league for a very long time. Like, I don't know how long was a long time, but tell me, like, that he should not be allowed back in the league. Let's be honest. That was wrong. Go tell me that was hockey. That is not hockey. You're telling me that he should be allowed to play hockey again after what he just did?
20
He
games
could have seriously hurt that guy.
He didn't, though.
He could have.
Well,
in the right areas who hit him, that could have been deadly.
It's all about the
Look, people get emotional sometimes. It happens.
I get it, but you can control your emotions. You're what, 35 years old?
You say that, but you're not, on a professional level, things get intense,
God.
right?
I mean,
one of the biggest things
come on.
that Toledo Walleye say is hit somebody, so.
And somebody got hit.
Somebody
so,
got
hey.
hit.
That's not getting hit. That is getting assaulted.
Oh my goodness. So.
Yeah.
I actually have a tweet.
Oh, do we?
Oh, gosh.
It says, "Hey Ryan, stop being sensitive on the topic and let players fight." Like you said,
Oh my gosh.
it passed a line that it really shouldn't have crossed with that, and I think AJ Jenks has done a good job. He came out and posted a video on Twitter or a statement on Twitter saying he doesn't agree with it. He just came back. I'm pretty sure that was his first game back, so it was a little tough to see that, and that's definitely against the walleye culture. Still go out and see a game. It's not going to happen again. I'm sure, maybe.
Well, who knows?
I know there's something else that, hockey-wise, that Zach is a little fired up about in the NHL. So tell us your concerns.
NHL, if you're watching, why? We love Olympic hockey, and why do we love Olympic hockey? Because it's the best talent in the world playing each other. We love to see USA versus Canada playing for an Olympic gold medal at the highest level. Why can't we have that? Why do we get amateurs playing? Look, I love the Olympics. I even love the Winter Olympics, okay? But I want to see the best. And when you don't let your players compete in the Olympics, I'm not getting the best. And I don't like it. You want to grow the game? You want it to become an international sport that everybody can enjoy? You let the best players play, okay? That's how I got into hockey. I'm not a hockey guy. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I didn't even know hockey was a real thing. I thought it was something they only did in movies. You know why I got into hockey? It's because in 2010, I watched USA versus Canada. And it was the greatest hockey game I had ever seen, and the only hockey game I've ever seen. And ever since then, I was hooked. I don't have a team, because I'm from Cleveland. We don't have a team. But hey.
You're the Lake Erie Monsters. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's right. Calder Cup champions, Lake Erie Monsters.
Yes, they were.
Shout out to my boys in Cleveland. Counted first championship since like 1964.
Yep.
So hey, go Monsters.
Yeah, you just bashed the whole city of Cleveland right there. I think it's smart by the NHL not to let their players play. I mean, think about it. They got to work on their own brand. If they're allowing their best players to leave their teams, how are the teams supposed to compete? What's the fun in watching the NHL if they're all over competing in the Olympics?
Most people aren't watching the NHL anyway.
What do you mean? I feel like the NHL is like an all-time high right now.
All-time high. They're still the fourth most popular sport.
Look at the Las Vegas. Okay, yeah, but you got football, basketball, and baseball ahead of them.
Yeah.
Those are America's like pastime.
Look, you can easily leapfrog baseball. Okay.
Hockey is growing.
Yeah.
Baseball is America's pastime. You can't. No, get out of here.
Yeah, it can get kind of boring.
Get out of here.
I mean, look.
No, come on.
Well, what were you saying about Las Vegas, Ryan?
I mean, look at that team out there.
Yeah, look at them. Tell me one thing about them.
They're called the Golden Knights. They have the third most points in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
The farthest into a season that an expansion team has either held or.
Name one player.
I can't do that.
Okay,
Don't do that to me.
their Twitter.
Wait, they got that one goalie I know.
Yeah, what's his name? What? I couldn't tell you.
But no, I think the Golden Knights have the best Twitter I've ever seen. Go check it out. They understand they're a new team and they play up that factor, but they're doing pretty well. Ryan made some good points, but I think you should try to fight for them a little bit more. Check them out, please. At least give NHL a little bit more.
Maybe I will.
But Chase, you got anything for us?
Well, I just think that, hockey can't really ever be a true global sport when it's as expensive as it is to play. Like, kids in Africa are never going to be playing hockey. Like, kids can play soccer anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
You can play basketball anywhere in the world.
Play baseball anywhere.
You can play
And
baseball
lacrosse.
anywhere. I mean,
Uh,
but when you get down to it, certain sports just have too much equipment and too much maintenance, and hockey could never ever be a global sport. Going back to your NHL remark, I think that it's hard when an Olympic Winter Games are at the same time as the regular season. I think basketball has that benefit of being in the summer, outside of the regular season. I think that even though NHL is the 4th most popular sport, they're still the 4th most popular sport in America. I mean, that's pretty awesome considering all the sports and all the leagues, and the fact that the NHL is the 4th most popular, right behind football and the MLB and the NHL, or excuse me, the NBA. I don't know. I think that the TV broadcasting rights, I think those numbers are as big as they've ever been. People are paying huge money to broadcast the games. Autumn?
I think there is such a history behind hockey. Like, the culture around it. Even they have some of the biggest supporters. So you start kids. There's kids out on the ice at the age of like what, 5 maybe.
Yeah.
So to say that it's not allowed to go it won't go global is kind of insane because parents are going to shell out the money for it. And I've seen it. I've seen parents put. I have a family friend. They put all 3 of their sons through hockey. They're girls playing hockey, and I think with sports like lacrosse too. You know, you guys hate when I bring that up, but there's girls going into the game, there's guys going into the game, so I think it's
right. But those are, those are people, that can shell out the money. But like, no one in Africa is going to be able to shell out the money. Like, no one in Southeast Asia.
Major other teams like MLB teams or NBA teams too. So
no, but they'd much sooner have a professional soccer team as opposed to a professional hockey team.
Right. Right.
So
fair point. Ryan.
I got nothing.
I
said
well, okay. Here's the thing. My main problem with I think it's a little short-sighted. I understand the TV contracts. You gotta keep those people happy, but I think if you really do want to grow the game, flat out, the Olympics have more eyes on them than the NHL. I don't really have the numbers to back that up, but I think I'm right.
I think with the Olympics, I don't know about you guys, but no matter what the sport is, I'm gonna turn.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, someone's skiing, or what else is
People
there
will watch the Olympics no matter what, but I think if you want to attract more people to hockey, you have to let the best players in the world play against the best players in the world.
I mean, the culture behind it. I agree. I think having it in the Olympics would be awesome because imagine going to see all of your favorite players, all the best players in one place. Huh?
That's why they have is it the World Hockey Championship? What do they call the where they have the national teams? They have something like
they do. But
they have the World Cup of Hockey.
Yeah, the World Cup of Hockey. That's it.
Yeah,
the
they have the World Cup of Hockey.
Would just be 10
It'd be
times.
it'd be the same as the World Cup of Hockey.
But you also don't.
It's the best players against the best players. Is it not? Is it not? Is the World Cup of Hockey not the best
Depends.
players?
I mean, when they have the World Cup of basketball, LeBron James isn't always on the national team.
but Sidney Crosby was playing in the World Cup of Hockey.
And it's true. I mean, it all depends on what kind
but
of
the
team
World
you can
Cup of
uh,
field.
Hockey doesn't have the name behind it like the Olympics.
Okay, that I get
People
that,
will
but-
always
okay,
watch the
that's
Olympics.
a true point. But
Right,
still,
the Olympics brings in billions.
You're
I
saying
mean, the
you want your best
NHL.
players playing against best players. You still have the World Cup of Hockey.
But you need
You're gonna
that.
dilute
But
your
you
product.
need that Olympic platform to get more people into it.
Yeah, but
That's
you
what
can't
I
get
think.
more people into it because a lot of the people who are already into hockey, they're going to live in northern or more climates. You're not going to get a southern climate playing hockey
No,
that
you're not.
often.
You're not.
So what's the appeal
But I
of them to
mean,
play
you could
hockey?
the NHL. I mean, like, why would they have a team in Los Angeles? They're trying to expand it. I mean, you can put up an ice
It's
arena.
America. We want things
Right, because
everywhere.
America has the money, they
Yeah.
have the resources, they have the the broadcasting
Look,
ability to make money by
it's
doing
never
that.
going to be a thing in the Southern Hemisphere. I think we've all given up on that. But I mean, it can still expand in the United States. There's still room for it to grow a little bit. Maybe in Europe, I don't know what they do over there, but
big in Sweden.
maybe they could grow hockey in Europe. I don't know. I'm not a hockey expert. Okay, I'm just here to talk about sports that I only kind of know about.
Well, maybe if we brought it back a little bit more local and we talked BG hockey, they are headed to Alaska. So what can we see from this team for the rest of the season and then going into playoffs?
Well, I think what a time to play Alaska Anchorage. They're at the bottom of the WCHA. We need to get a couple wins to help out our seeding in the WCHA playoffs. Last time we played them, we won 2 games fairly easily in a 2-game series. I predict the same thing to happen this weekend, and I'm really excited to see what this team can do.
Okay, this could be a trap though. You got to go out to Alaska. They're not starting until 11 p.m. Eastern time, so they're not starting until 11 o'clock here. So that's always going to be tougher when you're playing so late into the night, even though it's going to be only like 7 o'clock there. It's going to be tough for BG. I mean, yes, they're at the bottom, but I mean, BG has to do that traveling, that Friday game. It's going to be a tougher series than probably people think. But I mean, for seeding-wise, they already have clinched home field or home ice.
Yeah.
It's home field. I don't know. I was about to say that, but they've already clinched home ice. In Northern Michigan and Minnesota State are ahead of them right now. I think Northern Michigan's played 2 more games, but they're ahead of them, I think, in points-wise, about almost 10-ish. So that's 4 games right there. So Bowling Green, they're going to have to win out, be able to at least have a chance at the number 2 seed. Minnesota State's already played the same amount of games as Bowling Green, so they got 4 left. Bowling Green's got 4 left, but they're up 9 points against Bowling Green. So it's going to be tough for Bowling Green to pull within first place, but they still have a chance.
Zach, I think you had the story right there talking about how they had won beforehand and how they're going into Alaska, but I think something really important to consider is the jet lag about how they're traveling so far away and the fact that they might be looking ahead to the WCHA tournament. And Ryan makes a really good point. This could be a trap game. That could be something that they'd have to look out for. So I think they should be sharp. They should be on their game. And I think that they can come away with the win if they really focus, and it shouldn't be too hard for them. But, take it seriously. Don't take it lightly.
I think we are coming to a close shortly, but I want to bring up an important game that is coming up tomorrow. BG men's basketball is taking on Western Michigan. After beating Eastern Michigan, what are we looking for this team in this game? And
well,
also we had a tweet.
Okay. Yeah, do your thing with the tweets. Okay.
When you go on, tell us your favorite BG men's basketball player.
Wow.
Who's your favorite for the season?
Okay. Hey, look, I'm a Dylan Fry guy. I love shooting threes. I love what he does. He brings an excitement to the game, has been since he was a freshman. I'm really excited for this game against Western Michigan because they're one of the best teams in the MAC. They're about even with us, I believe, as far as ranked.
7-5, we're 6-6.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So it's going to be one of the big tests for them this year, and we're gonna have to see how well they play against Western because we got Buffalo coming up, which is the best team in the MAC. Because I really do believe in this team. I think we're a talented team. We don't always put it all together, but if we can get it together before the tournament, at least the MAC tournament, I think we got a real shot.
Yeah, I mean, this team's won 3 of their last 4 since that Toledo game in which they allowed 101 points. Their defense has played a lot better. This team's starting to pick it up. They've had to come back a couple of times from 19 points, but I mean, this team doesn't give up, which I love, and I hope they continue that way. You asked me who my favorite player is. I love DiMaggio Wiggins. He really puts in all the effort, all the work. He does the dirty work inside. Doesn't get a lot of credit, but he is a good player for Bowling Green. He's going to be a huge reason if they go on the long run.
I think, going off that too, I think he has a good chance of making it past the BG level. Honestly, I think his shooting performance, his shooting percentage, and his performance with the team, and he's grown so much over the years. He actually played at Springfield locally. I don't know if you guys were aware of that, but he has size and ability has grown super quick. So, Chase, you have one last point to add?
Well, I just wanted to say, you talk about DiMaggio Wiggins, a guy you and I both saw locally. He was extremely talented. I couldn't stand him back in high school because obviously as a former Anthony Wayne general, I couldn't stand the guy. But I love that he's playing for Bowling Green. I think he does a great job. I think he's supremely talented. I think that he shows shades of Rashawn Holmes.
Yeah.
So, and to kind of wrap it up, I think my favorite player, I can't not go with Matt Fox. I mean, he's far and away. Another local guy. Yeah, so I went to high school. Yeah. Old stomping grounds.
Yes, old stomping grounds.
And one last point, Michael Huger, love him as a coach. How many times have we seen this team go down by like almost 20 points, come back and win the game? And in overtime, he is 6-0 as a coach. So shout out Big Baller Brand. Overtime, never lost.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, good luck to the BG men's basketball team and the women's team playing this weekend, hosting Ohio, correct? This weekend?
They're at Ohio.
They're at
Ohio. I was wrong. At 1 p.m. So thank you for tuning in. It is BG's Only Sports live talk show. I'm your host, Autumn Stevens. For everyone here, Garrett McKinney and Kyle Wallman. We've
so corny. Are you actually going to do that?
Zach Ryan Strodbeck, and Chase Bachman. I'm Autumn Stevens. Have a great night, everyone.